What's up, YouTube? No preamble today. We're just making pizza. Let's do it. Okay guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is weigh out 70 grams of flour. And I'm using bread flour, and the reason you want to use bread flour for pizza is because it has a higher protein content, and that makes the dough a little bit crispier. So I went over a little bit, so I'm just going to spoon out just a tiny bit until I got 70 grams. And we're going to use 75 grams ultimately, but I'm saving that for later. Now, the next step is going to be 7 grams of honey. The next step is a 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. I'm using the Fleischmann's brand. I think that's how you say it. And the next step is going to be just a little bit of salt. I'm using Himalayan, but you can use any salt, it doesn't matter. Then I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of olive oil. And this is California Olive Ranch brand. That's my favorite. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of water. This is 1/8 of a cup. And then I'm just going to stir it around a little bit. And I'm adding a little bit of water at a time because I'm looking for a certain consistency. So I'm just going to keep stirring around here a little bit until it starts to clump up. All right. This is close to what I want, but I'm actually going to add just a tiny bit more water. And you will be able to see exactly what I'm going for here. Okay guys, so as you can see, this is the consistency that we're looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it out onto the table here. All right. Now this thing's called a dough scraper. It'll help you a lot in pressing the dough out and making sure it doesn't stick to your fingers, but you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my hands to show you that you don't need it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna keep folding the dough into itself until I create a dough ball. It's really funny. I actually watched Will Tennyson trying to make dough, and I got a little frustrated, but I understand this process is kind of tough. But he got to this point, and he just kind of gave up and pressed it out, and didn't look like it made too great of a pizza. But anyway, so now that I've got a ball, I'm going to go ahead and roll it around and pick up all the excess. And this is the step that Will actually got confused on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to knead dough. So this is what I'm starting with. You can see it's a little grainy. I'm going to go ahead and put it down, and I'm going to push it out just a little bit, and then I'm going to fold it over just like this, and then I'm going to press it down. And then you're going to fold it over kind of like a taco, right? And then you're going to press it down. And then fold it over and press it down. Fold it over, press it down. And you might want to go ahead and turn your activity tracker on because this part is going to burn a little bit of calories. So I'm just going to keep doing the same motion. I'm just going to fold it up, and then I'm going to press it down. And this is called kneading. And so what I'm going for here is about 50 turns. That's what they call them, is turns, until you get the consistency that you want. And yeah, it is a workout. You might sweat a little bit. Now, this is close, but I'm looking for a little bit smoother than that. So I'm going to go ahead, put it right back down, and get back to work on it. Right. And as you can see, what I'm about to show you, this is what you are looking for. I'm going to go ahead and form it into a ball as best I can, and then this is how smooth that your dough ball should look. Okay, so all right, the next step here is going to be get some Pam, and you're just going to spray a little bit in the bottom of the bowl, throw your dough ball in, and then just hit it in the top just a little bit more. Now I'm going to grab some saran wrap, go ahead and cover it up. It doesn't have to be airtight. You just want it to be tight enough to trap a little bit of heat. And this next step is a little hack that I came up with for making sure the dough rises properly, or rises quickly rather. I'm just going to put this bowl over a bigger bowl with hot water in it. And then I'm just going to let it sit out, and I'm going to let it proof. So here, if you look really closely, you can see it get just a little bit larger. That's all I'm going for in a quick proofing dough. If I left this out for hours, it would get really big, but it really doesn't have to be proofed that long to have a good flavor. So all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Okay, so we go ahead and take a look at the dough ball. It clearly got a little bit bigger in size, and it's much softer. It's kind of warm at this point. So I'm gonna take that 5 grams that we saved from the beginning, and this is gonna get spread out on my work surface. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take the dough. I'm gonna make sure it is well and covered in flour. You can put the rest of it on top. Now the next step is going to be form it into a disc shape. And the way I'm doing this is I'm putting it in my hand and I'm just pinching it ever so slightly on the sides and rotating it. Just like this. And that's what you want it to look like. Now then I'm just going to press with my hand and get it into more of a thinner disc shape. Now guys, I do not own a rolling pin at all. Normally I would just flatten this all the way out with my hands and stretch it that way, but because not everyone knows how to do that, I'm going to show you what to do with a wine bottle. So I'm putting it down gently and I'm going back and forth. Not too hard, not too soft. All right, and I get these 2 little humps there, so I'm going to put the wine bottle right in the middle again after I rotate it. And then I got 4. So I'm just going to keep rotating it till I get all those bumps out. And you want to make sure that you don't go off the edge, because then you'll pinch the dough and you'll create a part that'll burn very easily. So doesn't take a whole lot of pressure, but you want to put some down. And guys, I was really excited to make this video today because I am Italian. I've worked in a pizza restaurant for a large part of my life, and I like to think that pizza is my specialty. So I'm hoping y'all are enjoying this. Okay, this part's called slapping the dough. You don't have to do it, but this is how we do it in pizza restaurants. You can just do this next step. Just put it down, and then you are just going to rotate it and pull gently, trying not to tear the dough until it's the size you want it. And you can just go ahead and use the wine bottle or a rolling pin until it gets to the size you want. I just find it a little bit easier to use my hands here. And right. And it's important in this process to make sure that you do get the flour up underneath the dough, because if it sticks to the work surface, then it could tear. All right. And as important as it is to get the outside nice and thin, you also want to get the inside nice and thin. So just make sure your inside isn't too thick. Okay. You can see it's very pliable. So I'm going to go ahead and show off a little bit for you guys and show you what I can do. Okay guys, I let it go a little bit too long. I was watching football, so that's my bad. Got a little bit brown on the edges, so keep an eye on it, especially when you put up to 500 degrees because it goes really quick. So yep, sorry about that. It's not gonna be too bad though. Go ahead and look at this guy right up under here. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be amazing. Let's go ahead and cut it. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do this a little bit Remington James style right here. So go ahead and look at that pizza. Look how crispy it is. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. We're gonna go New York style, right? Because it's thin crust. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap it right here. Oh yeah. Look at that golden brown bottom. Again, I just went a little bit over. I was so close. If I had come maybe 50, if I had gotten to it maybe like 45 seconds to a minute earlier, maybe I could have saved the crust, but that's okay. A little smokiness never hurt nobody. Let's go ahead and give it a... You can't beat it. I mean, I love lavish breads, but you can't beat actual pizza crust. I mean, goodness, it's so crispy and... That part's a little too crunchy. I know what you're thinking. This guy just said pizza was his specialty and then he burnt it. You guys want to use eggs and a little bit of coconut flour or whatever people are doing these days to make a low-calorie pizza? I mean, you could, but this whole thing is 500 calories. So, I don't know. Last time I looked at one of those little egg pizzas, one of them was 250 calories about. One half of this is bigger than that. You just have to make sure that you're able to press it out thin crust style. And it tastes way better. It's not gonna be eggy. So guys, please make this. I understand dough is a little bit harder to work with, but you can take everything that I just did and throw it in the Vitamix or in the Ninja and make the dough. Throw it in a bowl, cover it, and it'll proof over time. You don't even need oil and sugar. If you leave it out long enough, the yeast will eat the dough and it'll start proofing and it'll give it a nice taste. Just a little bit of that. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it at all. People can tell me all they want that it's the pepperoni or the veggies or the sauce that they crave. But we all know what you crave is crust. And look at that. I mean, that's what everyone's trying to mimic to make it lower calorie. And guys, you really just don't need to. Most of the things that you're gonna get, flour substitutes, are the same exact caloric density as flour is. The crust isn't super thin. You still got some thickness to it, you know? Enough to wrap up a New York style thin crust pizza. So anyway. Oh, you want some more pepperoni, huh? Guys, if you liked the video, if you found it informative and you want to see other recipes like this one, please hit like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all in the next video.